Shorting a stock can be a risky yet potentially profitable way to make money in a bear market. It's essentially selling shares of stock that you don't own with the hopes of being able to buy it back at a lower price later down the line. But once we've actually decided on a stock to short, how do we actually do it within ThinkorSwim? Today, we'll be sure to cover all the actual steps on how to short a stock, how to close that position once the time comes, and some things that you guys probably want to watch out for before you decide to short. Now, within the ThinkorSwim app, we'll pretty much do all of our trading right on the stock profile page. And to get there, we'll simply need to click on the search box in the upper right-hand corner. We'll then be able to type in the name of the stock that we wanted to short. And for this example, let's say I wanted to short GE since my washing machine just broke last night and I'm feeling a little bit salty about it. So right there, we'll go ahead and type in GE, and I'm just going to go ahead and click on it in the list below. I'm sure you guys are already familiar with this page, but if not, this is where we can come to see what the stock is currently trading for, a chart of its price history throughout time, and most importantly for what we're trying to do, two very large buttons in the upper right-hand corner to either buy or sell the stock. Now, a lot of other apps out there will actually have a specific button to press when you want to short, but it's actually pretty simple within ThinkorSwim. Whenever you guys want to short a stock, you are simply going to click that big red sell button, since all we're doing when we short a stock is selling shares that we don't currently own. So if that was the case and I did want to short GE right now, I would simply come up there to the upper right-hand corner and click on that big red sell button. It'll then take us immediately to an order ticket where we could then specify how many shares we wanted to short, the type of order we wanted to use, and how long we wanted that order good for. Now, beginning first with the order quantity, you can see right there that my default is to short 10 shares at a time, but if I were to click on that, I could flip it up to, let's say, 50. So now I'm saying I want to sell 50 shares of GE stock, and you can see it says -50 there. Looking right above that, we can then specify the type of order that we're using. And in this case, we currently have limit order selected, but if I hit those little arrows on the left or right-hand side, you can actually start to see I'm flipping through all of the other order types available to me. Now, just as a quick reminder, a market order, which is what we're currently looking at, simply means I want to sell these shares immediately and I'll take whatever the current price is. Coming back up to the top and flipping it over to a limit order, that would only be used if we wanted to short it at a specific price, only if it hit a certain threshold. Now the other ones up there, the stop limit, and trailing stop, you guys will generally be using these to close you out of your positions, not to open up new ones, but technically you could use stops to trade a potential breakout, but let's just stick with the basics for now. So in this example, let's say we did actually want to use a limit order, and I only wanted to sell these shares of GE if it went up to $78 a share. So at that price, we're saying it's overvalued and it would be a good entry point for the short. So at 78, go ahead and sell me 50 shares of GE. So what I'll do is go ahead and click in the price box here, go ahead and type in 78 there and hit done. After we're finished with that, we could then come down to the time in force box that currently says day, and we could actually specify how long we wanted this order good for. So in this case, if I were to leave it as a day order only, it means if I do not enter this short today, if I'm not able to sell these 50 shares for $78 by 4 p.m. Eastern time, just go ahead and cancel it. Now, if I wanted to change that, I could go over here to the arrow on the right and flip it over to a good until cancel order, meaning go out every single day until this short fills. I could also flip it over to an EXT order if I wanted to do this for the pre or post market or GTC EXT. Now in my case, I'm actually going to flip it back over to a day order, again saying if this order does not fill by the end of the day, just go ahead and cancel it. Now if we were to scroll down on this order ticket, you will also see that we could create an advanced order, and this would be an order that triggers another order, like a take profit order or a stop loss order or a combination of the two. Now, like I said a second ago, I do want to just keep this as simple as possible for today. So let's come back up here and hit the cancel button to go back to the order ticket. Now that everything looks right, I'm simply going to come up here to the review button in the upper right-hand corner. That'll then bring up the order confirmation screen, just confirming everything looks right. And since it does, I'm going to come up here to the upper right-hand corner. And if this was a real account, you would see a send button there. But in this case, since this is paper money, we're going to go ahead and select paper trade. You'll then notice that the order does get submitted and it actually takes us to the order status screen automatically. So looking right here, we can see this is still a working order, meaning I have not sold these shares yet. But if I wanted to edit that in some way or cancel it, I would simply click on the order ticket itself. It'll then give me the option to just outright cancel the order, or I could select cancel/replace if I wanted to edit it in some way. But that's going to be the way that you guys enter shorts within this app. Now, once it comes time to actually close those positions to get out of the short, let's go ahead and come down here to the positions tab to see all of the current positions in my account. So looking here, we can see all of my current and open positions, the price I bought or sold them for, their current price, and then how much I'm up or down since putting them on. Now, looking a little bit closer at my Amazon position, you can actually see right there it says I have negative 10 shares of stock, and that's what a short position is going to look like inside of ThinkorSwim. So again, looking right there at Amazon, it says I sold 10 shares of Amazon and the traded price was 105.07, and currently it's trading for 135.19. So this is an example of a trade that went very much against me, because remember, when I short a stock, I don't want the stock to go up. And in this case, it looks like I'm down about $301 right now. So looking at this one, I do have a decision to make. I can either close this thing out and just cut my losses, be done with it, or I could let it ride and see if Amazon is going to come back down in value. For this example, let's say I did just want to cut my losses. I want to get out of it. So all I have to do to actually put out the closing order on this short is simply hit the little checkmark box just to the left of the stock. That'll then open up a little button on the right-hand side that says Close Selected, and all we have to do is click on that. You'll then see it takes us to an order ticket just like before, but this time we're actually putting in an order to buy the stock back, or buy to cover as you'll most often hear it called. So right here, we could actually flip this over to a market order if we just wanted to buy back this position immediately, just get out of it. Or we could come over here to the limit price and actually specify our profit target, or at the very least, we could get out for less of a loss than we currently have. Now, in my case, I am actually going to put in an order to buy back these 10 shares if Amazon ever drops back down to, let's say, 120. So typing in 120 there and hit done. Now, since this order is super unlikely to fill by the end of day today, I'm actually going to flip this over from a day order to a good until cancel order. I'm then going to come back up here to the upper right-hand corner where it says Review. I'm going to make sure everything looks right and then hit Paper Trade back in the upper right-hand corner. It'll again take us to the order confirmation screen, and right there I've got an opening order to sell 50 shares of GE, and I'm also trying to buy back my shares of Amazon for 120 a share. But that's really the basics of how you guys are going to short a stock within here, and then how you guys can close it out once the time comes. The main thing I want you guys to always remember is the fact that this trade has undefined risk, which is really just a fancy way of saying that you could theoretically lose an unlimited amount of money whenever you're shorting a stock. That's because as that stock goes up, you will continue to lose money, and on a short, there is technically no upper end limit for how high that stock price could go. That's why you guys will want to watch these trades incredibly closely and have very defined risk management. I'll also mention that you guys won't be able to short every single stock that's out there. There's basically going to be 3 different classifications that a stock could fall under. It could be ETB or easy to borrow, meaning that you guys can basically short that stock without any issues, any concerns. You'll also have HTB or hard to borrow, meaning you will need to enroll in the hard to borrow program, which anyone can do. You just have to call up TD and ask for it. But once they explain the rules, they'll just flip on a switch and then you guys can short hard to borrow stocks. That can be a little bit confusing, so I'll just go ahead and save that for a later video, what it means to actually short a hard to borrow stock, but you guys can do it, just give TD a call. Now, the last one will be NTB or none to borrow, and that means exactly what it sounds like. There are no shares to short. You'll most often see this with really illiquid stocks or on recent IPOs, but really you won't see it very often. Now, the last thing to keep in mind is that you guys only have the ability to short stock in a margin account, and you cannot do it in a retirement account. But that's really it. Hopefully you guys feel a lot more comfortable with how to short and some things to watch out for after today. Shorting doesn't make sense for a lot of people, so please do as much research as possible before you actually end up doing it for yourself. If you guys do still have questions or recommendations for other video topics, please let me know down below. And if you guys were looking to learn more, YouTube seems to think that you'll find this video helpful as well, so go ahead and check that one out. But that's it for now. Have a great rest of your week, guys, and I'll catch you on the next video.